Right, good evening everybody, hope you're doing very, very well. I'm back down here at Wollaston BMW and Mini. Today I'm riding something that I'm actually quite excited for. It's a bike that I've wanted to ride for a while now. It's the F900GS. I just filmed an intro to this video outside Wollaston's BMW, and there was just a guy there who was obviously trying to ride an R18, and I was standing next to the KTM. And he just looked at me really strangely, wandered back inside and got one of the sales guys to come and move the 790. It's quite clear that this is the bike I'm here on. If you want me to move it, just ask. It was really weird. And then I started doing the intro to the video and he just stared at me the entire time. So I'm restarting this video because that was incredibly strange. Anyway. Wollaston BMW in Northampton have very kindly let me go out on this thing, which is the F900GS. Compared to the 750 and 850 GS, this is way more off-road focused. It's very rally / Dakar kind of styling, it appeals to me very much so. The one thing that doesn't appeal to me is this particular colour. It looks a little bit like it's a cross between high-vis yellow and baby sick green. Since this has come out, I've always wanted to ride it because it is, in theory, this is like a direct competitor for something like the 890 Adventure R, I guess. Something like the Tenere 700, those kinds of iterations of the bike. Having said that, the one thing I am a little bit perplexed about is where it sits in your garage, as it were. Predominantly, the only thing that's sort of wrong, in inverted commas, with it would be the screen, or lack of. Quite a hard bench seat as well. Like, you couldn't really use it for going on a trip, or you could, but it wouldn't be particularly comfortable. But then also it's quite heavy to just be an off-road bike. But then that's the same with the Teneres, and people think they're the best thing ever. I think this one's got the upgraded suspenders on it, because they are adjustable, front and rear. If you are not aware and you have not watched this channel before, I am not a specs guy. I don't, if you want specs of these bikes as power, torque figures, look it up online. I'm not your guy for that. There's 3 billion other reviews on YouTube of people just going, that's just what a PDF says. Just before we go anywhere, let's quickly give a rundown of what I would do to this thing if I bought it. First of all would be a sump guard. The one that's on there, if I can even see it, it is hard plastic, but it's so minimal. It obviously has no protection for the headers or air or anything. It's literally just under there. It is a sump guard, but it's not particularly a anything else guard. I'd want to find a way of shortening this. But the thing I like that BMW have done is that it looks very motocross. That whole back end looks very motocross, which I think is a very, very good thing. It's got a shock protector. Pillion pegs are the size of Jupiter. Like, they are massive. They feel really nice, but they are massive, aren't they? And mind you, that amount of rubber's probably going to go down well with the other half, isn't it? The other thing that I really like with what they've done on this, it's got an adjustable height brake lever. How cool is that? I don't know if that's an additional extra, but that's a really, really good idea. And it's nice that you can literally just do that. Some of the metals are also starting to corrode. And this bike, I mean, I don't know what mileage this bike's got, but it doesn't have a lot on it. The thing that I do like on this one, compared to like the KTM, is it's got a nice sized TFT screen. The one on the KTM looks quite small. On the 790, 890 look quite small. I'm assuming they'll update that at some point. Is the screen adjustable? No, I don't think so. USB port there, which is nice. Keyless ignition. It's a keyless fuel cap. Good. One thing that BMW still do on a few models is that they put a keyless ignition on it, but not a keyless fuel cap and not a keyless steering lock, which just makes no sense to me. Like, if you're going to have keyless, go keyless, or don't go keyless. It's an easy to use TFT. It's not as easy as something like the KTM, the Husqvarna. It takes a while to work out what way do I have to press this to get it to change. Quite a nice noise. I mean, I've already ridden it, I know what the noise is like. No backlit switchgear, comes with cruise control, it's got heated grips, it's got the SOS mode on it, which I think will all be options to a point. I've done a little bit of riding in road mode, so we're going to put it straight into dynamic mode. First of all, I am 5'9", 32 inch inseam, something like that. I get my feet down both sides on the stock height seat. I am on my tiptoes, both sides though. The seat is quite thin, so it's quite easy to get your feet down. Standard kind of riding, the bars feel quite far away from me. This is very much not a review, it's a first ride. I'm not claiming this as a review. First impression on the seat is that it is quite hard. Again, that's kind of feeding into that motocrossy type vibe. We're doing 52 miles an hour at the moment. The wind is very much hitting the top of my helmet, like it's there, so it's actually hitting my visor. So yeah, I mean, you could go on a trip on it. It's not really something I'd choose to go on a trip on without a bigger screen. It's got a lot of go, I'll give it that. A lot of go. Can I manually adjust that? Yeah, it looks like I can. So what is that? That's preload, and that, oh, that's also preload. Up 1, up 2. That's a bit better. Not as bouncy. Adjustable suspension is such a good thing. It makes such a difference, like such a difference. Woo! Gosh, it goes! Bloody horror! Down the bottom. Oh, that was definitely not intentional. I definitely didn't mean to jump over that humpback bridge. But it definitely took off and cushioned the landing really nicely. This is far from off-road, but standing up off-road, it feels a little bit slippy on the tank. You could definitely do some form of tank pads on it to sort of stop the slipping around your knees. It does feel quite comfortable standing up on. It's very, very controllable. The light steering made such a difference. Like, it was really easy to work out where I wanted to go, which was lovely. And also I didn't feel like I was being overpowered by it at all. You often feel with like some of the heavy bikes, you often feel like what you want to do isn't really happening and what the bike wants to do is. I know exactly where the steering is, that front wheel is, which is perfect. Thank you. Yeah, this is quite... I mean, this is also what you want this bike for, isn't it? Like, it's just exploring the slightly less maintained roads type thing. It is very good. It's quite bouncy, but I guess I still need to adjust that rear shock. I feel very confident in it already. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am a relatively seasoned off-roader. Sorry, I thought I could get through. Ah, she was nice. It completely makes sense on these sort of back roads. Like, I don't know how much I'd want to do it on Salisbury Plain type thing, like really heavy off-road, or the Trans-Euro Trail, but on these kind of dirt, unmaintained roads, it's absolutely perfect. It's so good. BMW, if you're watching this, that wasn't off-road. It was an unmaintained road. Promise. So we're now sitting at an indicated 70 odd miles an hour. It's very windy. It's quite loud as well. So this is where, like, I wouldn't want to do this for a substantial amount of time. If you're in a peaked helmet like I am, it's probably louder. It's not buffeting or anything, it's quite clean air. I still don't quite understand where it would fit in the, like, it's fine at doing that kind of gravelly, unmaintained roads type thing. I'd take it around the ABR festival without sort of hesitation, because I mean, I take my Super Adventure around ABR, so you know, it definitely would add that extra level of usability if you had a big screen on it type thing. It's a really nice place to be. You've got the BMW sort of fit and finish, keyless ignition, which is nice, although it is another thing to potentially go wrong, but it's still quite nice to have it regardless. I would like it if the traction control was dialable. Not many brands do that, but it's either on or off. But that traction control kicking in when the front wheels started hovering, well, I mean, it didn't even get a chance to hover, it just shut it down immediately. Yeah, it just, the second that front wheel leaves the floor, it just shuts it down hard. I'd want it to be a little bit more forgiving, I guess. It's a light bike to move around, but I'm going to caveat this because I'm so used to KTMs, Husqvarnas, etc. But because the fuel tank is up here, when you get a bit off balance, because it's a tall bike, Like, it is a tall bike. If you're off-road and you've not quite got the reach to the floor, it is like you feel the weight of it being up top, if that makes sense. It's probably just because I'm used to that, but on the KTMs, they've got those ball bag tank type things. It's so much nicer to estimate how it's going to react to stuff. 45 mile an hour in 4th gear, going to merge onto the motorway, or onto the dual carriageway. Like, absolutely buckets of go. If you were like, oh, me and the guys are going to go over to Wales, we're going to go camping for a long weekend, and we're just going to go and do some of the easier sections of the TET, for example, some of the off-roads, the Trans-Euro Trail, which is like some of the off-road stuff in Wales, the lack of wind protection and the seat would be fine. Like maybe a couple of 100 miles and a go type thing, you'd know about it by the end, but it would be fine. The extra suspension and technology and everything would almost outweigh the lack of wind protection and the hard seat. You could get a bigger screen quite easily, I would assume. I don't know about the seat, whether you could get much of a better seat, but like without hampering the ability off-road, you want to be able to slide back and forth on it on off-road. Personally, I wouldn't say this is an only bike. It's more of a second bike. But again, if you're second bike, would you want something lighter to go off-road? I don't know. I would like to see what it'd be like actually properly off-road. Like take it off green laning or something like that. That would be amazing, because it might completely prove me wrong. I don't know whether I'd want to take a very, very nice 15, 16, 17 grand GS off-road, because I'm sure these mirrors are probably quite expensive. The thing that really bugged me about the Tenere 700 when it came out is that everyone was raving about how good it was off-road, and then if you spoke to anyone that could actually go off-road, they would say, oh yeah, it's amazing off-road, but I've had to spend 2 grand on suspension to make it good because it kept bottoming out. I'm like, so it's not good off-road then? They've obviously solved that now with the better suspension on the newer models. What I was sort of driving at is that this is, obviously it's a more expensive bike, but you're getting what you pay for. It's got some good suspension on it. It's not going to be as compliant as probably some of the WP Apex stuff that you get on some of the KTMs and Huskies, because that stuff is just unbelievably good. Oh, one pop 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 pop. I don't know whether I'd buy one over an 890 Adventure R or a Husky, but if you're in the BMW sort of ecosphere or whatever you want to call it, really nice bike, really nice bike. I would definitely get it in the blue though. I don't really like the black baby sick yellow. The highlight for me being this. That is definitely the highlight. This is Williston BMW, and I told David the other day that I'd actually be quite tempted with one of these. I'd have to ride one of these with the 890 Adventure R back to back to see what I'd prefer, but I'll probably turn that off, can't I? I don't know. It's quite a competitive middle sector of that market now, which is really quite cool. I'm really enjoying it because everything's going more off-road, and I love off-road, so you know. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you very, very much to Williston BMW in Northampton. Oh, just opened the keyless fuel cap. So thank you very, very much. Come and see David in here if you would like to buy a bike. Tell him that I sent you, and he won't give you any discount, but he'll just go, oh yeah, that guy, he's a bit of a twat. He won't say that because he's lovely. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in next week's video. Goodbye.